Let's continue with the rest of our stories. And civil society groups are ramping up pressure on President Akufo-Addo to immediately terminate what they believe is the scandalous Agyapa mineral royalties deal. It follows the already $12 million spent on the deal and what the anti-corruption agencies say is ongoing negotiations still in relation to the botched agreement.
Taxed to manage 75% of Ghana's gold royalties from 12 mining companies, the Agyapa mineral royalties deal, according to many, was a crescendo of all things unholy in Ghana's ever-continuous dance with privatization of funds and national assets. The company, set up in tax haven Jersey, was also expected to enjoy tax reliefs, with the company's shares to be floated on the London Stock Exchange, with the nation receiving some 500 million cedis at the time to aid budgetary expenditure. The deal would be suspended, however, after then Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu's corruption risk assessment. Nearly 4 years on, the deal remained suspended, with key government persons hinting of its return. It was all quiet until the Minerals Income Investment Fund in February of this year revealed $12 million had been spent on the botched deal.
Because this was an IPO, and as honorable members are aware, for every IPO, consultants, etc. come in, the establishment of an office in the United Kingdom and also in Ghana, etc., come into place. So there have been expenses. The whole idea was for MIF to be reimbursed after the IPO. But as the IPO is now suspended, until that suspension is lifted, we can't move on with Agyapa.
How much have you spent so far in relation to Agyapa?
I'll get the exact figure, but it should be around 12 million. 12 million, yes.
Dollars?
$12 million, right? $12 million.
The revelations has prompted fresh calls for the outright termination of the deal. The latest to make the demand are 14 civil society groups who insist the scandalous deal must be abrogated. According to the coalition of CSOs, they are aware of other Agyapa-linked processes that are ongoing, including negotiating a bilateral investment treaty and a double taxation agreement with Jersey, where the Agyapa Royalties Limited was intending to be hosted. It will not be the first time the call has been made. As to whether there will be a response this time round, only time will tell.
Let's speak to Eliasu Ali. He is a policy analyst at the Africa Center for Energy Policy, one of the groups against the deal. Eliasu, thank you so much for your time. There are those who argue that with the $12 million spent, it only makes sense that we perhaps follow through with the deal because a termination at this stage without possible recovery of the money won't yield much. How would you react to this?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for having me. I think the argument that some monies have already been expended as the grounds for us to follow through with the deal is akin to saying that we are happy to incur any further, losses in relation to the deal. We believe that it is, in the first place, an unnecessary cost. And so at this point, we have to count our losses and kill the deal. That is the only way we are able to insulate future mineral royalties of this country against any further such expenses.
Are these concerns you have expressed being sent to any specific entity or ministry?
So this is our very first course of action. We have other lined up courses of action that would be triggered once we see how the response on this statement is going. We do believe that the president would rise up to the call and listen to the good people of Ghana and ensure that the right thing is done by killing the deal so that we are able to come to the table and discuss how best we are to invest our mineral royalties if investments is the course that the government wants to go by.
And if he doesn't heed to this, what next?
So our next courses of action would be triggered, like I said, but we are very positive that given the demonstrated poor value that the Agyapa deal is bringing to the country, as demonstrated by the losses, which have actually not inured any benefit at all, especially in these times of serious economic issues that we have at hand as a country. We do not think that there is any cause whatsoever to expend any further peso on a deal that is in the first place not in the interest of the country. In our press statement, you would realize that the upfront payment that we actually sought through the deal has been, in fact, we have accrued in excess of that within just 3 years from mineral royalty receipts. We believe that the president would rise up to the call, but if he doesn't, we are going to communicate and actually trigger our next lines of action.
Eliasu, thank you so much for your time. And Eliasu Ali is a policy analyst of the Africa Center for Energy Policy.